that's a triple play. New episodes, I couldn't wait. Yeah, open your mind at the first gate. Press play, no need to debate. AOA, check me out. Look, clocked in, you can catch the hype. Golden Dawn, how we follow the light. Anime like life, married to it, my wife.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages? Welcome back to the AOA show. I'm your host, as always, Ian, along with the boys Isaiah.
Oh, hi, yo.
And Gavin.
What is Gucci Flip Flop?
And today we're hitting you with some more blog posts courtesy of the beautiful moderators in our Discord, YouTube channel, and Twitch. Yeah. This time we are covering Season 3, episodes 49 to 58. Really excited to do it. If you guys haven't seen it yet, definitely check out our live stream, our live read-through of these chapters. You could catch that on AOA Reacts. Link is in the description down below, so definitely click that, subscribe to the channel, and hit us up there. Don't want to miss it. Also, hit us up on our discussion as well, which was posted to this channel a couple days ago. Don't want to miss that either. We have our comment of the day as well. For those of you who don't know, we'll pose a question at the end of our videos. You don't know what that question is unless you watched it all, and that's how we know you're a true one. Once you answer it and then write your comment, we might just shout you out on our next episode. And we have a comment here. So, Gavin, if you'd like to read it.
And our beautiful commenter is by Wendell Montiero. Sorry if I butchered your name, but the comment states the beautiful lady was Ms. Dawn. That is the answer to the question. Why do you think SIU shows us Rack with the ancient spear before coming to the wall? But when they get there, he was with Mad Shocker again. Will he use the spear in the coming arcs? And do you think that using the spear, he is in the same level as Bam without the thorn? A big hug from Brazil. Thank you very much for your comment. A big hug back. So, anybody want to...
Oh man, I mean that would definitely be cool if he ends up using that ancient spear in this war fight.
That would be cool.
About him being on par with Bam without the thorn, I guess it's possible.
Maybe with that chuck, the second it leaves his hand, he's
I guess the weapon.
Yeah, the weapon itself. Yeah, potentially I could see that. I think he's probably going to have to, where we are now, what we're going to be covering, I would assume if Rack has a role to play, it will involve that spear, because we're at the point now where it is just ranker central out here. There are high rankers going around. This is Jihad's army we're talking about. Yeah, sure. So unless he goes and fights more of the peon soldiers, he's going to need some big firepower to contend with something. So it might just be some sniper kind of move where he's just chilling, because we see him just hanging out on top of the ship, waiting, and he seems oddly calm up there. Rack, he wants to be the one to jump into the fray. Yeah. So it seems weird that he's cool as a cucumber up there. So I think that there might be a point where they're just get it ready, boom, and he just whips that big old spear. So yeah, I think that the impact of that spear would definitely have the impact of something that Bomb could throw at someone. I would think they pump that spear up to be pretty damn important. So. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Really exciting stuff. Thank you very much for the comment, Wendell. We appreciate you and watching until the end of our videos. Appreciate that as well. Anyway, though, getting into the blog post today, Gavin, fire us off with the first episode here.
Ooh, we're starting off with 49. Let's look at this beautiful picture real fast. Oh,
the bros.
The bros. So the doodle this week are the three Baylord brothers. An assistant of mine who has been helping me out for more than a year now had to step down for personal reasons and made their last request a doodle of the Baylord brothers. Because of that, I drew it for him. They worked hard helping out, so I can only hope good things are ahead of them. Ultimately, the battle at the walls by the cage ends like this. This is not necessarily the beginning of the battle, or of a battle, but more so a lead into the next one, so it ended up dragging on more than anticipated. A lot of stories were happening at once, so things may have gotten confusing, but thank you to those who managed to keep up. Kelhelm is about as useful as a corpse in this battle. Nice, all right. Is he really the one that faced off Evenkel and Yama last time? Interesting. Actually, if Kelhelm got involved, Yasaracha in the 5th Corps would be at a disadvantage. However, the great mighty King Jihad decided that won't do, so he hits Kelhelm with a balanced pad. Nice wording. Let's all forget about the fact that Jihad broke the balance to begin with. Turns out the MVP of this battle is not Yasaracha or the feline people, but Jihad himself.
It's true.
It is very true. Zahn's death was planned from the start, but I think a lot of you who have been loving the canine people seem to be upset that both Zahn and Gato died. This story is in part a story of Yama's growth, so I hope you look forward to how Yama rallies the survivors after his second and third in command died. I don't like killing characters, but the genre is the genre, so I have to do it often.
Do it.
And it does serve a very valuable purpose, so don't be scared of doing it a second. Ultimately...
Like more
No, I'm kidding.
Destruction forces growth.
Ultimately, since there were a lot of unseen variables suddenly coming into play in a manner disadvantageous to even Kel and Yama, it's hard to say who won between Yama or Yasuracha, or the cage against the Fifth Army. Actually, having the entirety of the canines suddenly get mind-controlled was a huge liability. Perhaps the coming battles will help determine who would have won.
Obviously, Yama.
Obviously. As an author, I have a feeling the Nest arc will be another rather too big of a scale for a weekly release, so I am quite worried. Sometimes I want to find an excuse and take a break, but I will try my best. Oh boy. Well, quite literally, he had to take a break 10 chapters away, so I guess this was in the making. As many of you may already know, the Tower of God anime has been announced. Woo! Actually, I wasn't really sure if they were really going to do it until they announced it. I did have a few meetings and heard the progress reports every once in a while, but it seemed so far away. Getting an anime for a webtoon doesn't happen often, like getting a TV series or a movie. There's almost no cases where it actually worked out, so I don't have too many expectations. I am just happy I get to see Raccoon Bam live, as were we. Amazing. 10 years of work, and you suddenly get a whole anime. Now that I've given you good news, I will go back to working. Also, I'm starting to have doubts. This is a throat cold. I'm going to get seen by internal medicine instead of the ENT, so stay tuned. Jesus, that doesn't sound like fun. P.S. Regarding the anime production, this story was picked among a variety of webtoons by investors overseas. Made a contract for the copyright and is being produced, may not be exact. Okay. I thought it would be aired outside of Korea first, but apparently it's going to be simultaneously released in the US, Korea, and Japan. They told me it would be overseas first. At least I hope this anime project gets a good reaction, so that other webtoons get animes as well. I hope that day comes, so please don't look at it as just a Tower of God thing, but as a part of the direction the entire webtoon world is heading. I hope you support the animated release and get excited for it. Me, the ever so pitiful, getting this opportunity is all thanks to you. Thank you. I hope only good things come from now on.
Dude, it really does hit different when you, like, because we've been following SIU's literal life journey through these blog posts, that it's like how much that anime getting made means. Like, you know, we talked about it with the God High School thing, and even with the Noblest thing, where it's like, you know, how much of a hand the creators actually had in the making of the anime or whatever is, you know, is up for interpretation or whatever. But, like, you know, at the end of the day, they're just like, oh, this is dope. You know what I mean? This is like been his literal thing for the last 10 years. And like now it's got
to be a great honor. Yeah. Like, nevertheless, whether it's adapted poorly or not, like just the fact that it's getting the opportunity is, you know, it's got to be amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, we've had this conversation before, but I frankly love the anime.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Unlike some of the other ones that came out, so really dodged a bullet there. All right. Episode 50. We have the beautiful, stunning Hwaryun. Okay, today's doodle is Hwaryun, who hasn't been seen in a while. It's not easy drawing her after all this time. Sometimes I mess up on her eye patch placement, so I have to switch it around. I would appreciate it if you guys gently let me know if you spot any mistakes. Yes, too many clothes. Just throwing that out there.
Too many clothes.
Yeah, too many articles of clothing. The story continues after Yasuracha killed more than half of the canines. It seems like he's becoming the official villain of the third season thus far. I hope you guys don't get the wrong idea. I'm not a cat person or a dog person because I don't have either.
Nice.
Damn. It's crazy that, like, people have to jump out in front of that, and be like, don't, no, stop. Like, I don't like one more than the other, or I like this, or I don't like either because like people.
Or that it matters.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like,
yeah, like
because people immediately classify you as someone's like, I don't like that guy. He's like, this over this is ridiculous. I just like animals. We see Bomb's party talk about the nest. The nest may be a more esoteric place than one may expect. Hard to draw, too. We have Hwaryun show up for the first time in a while. The prettiest among the Season 1 regulars. Word of God, boys. Let's go.
I mean, I'm fine with that because he says regulars. So
that's true. It doesn't include
I'm
Yuri,
okay with
who
that.
is
Yeah,
obviously
she's a
number one.
princess.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No,
Can you all
right.
let it go for a minute?
No.
She's the prettiest regular.
Yeah.
I'm willing to. That is hers. Give that to her.
Yeah. It's called dissecting the information.
It's good. We read it in the text, and we didn't need any more input. Okay, just let it fucking be. All right, let it settle.
Look, I'm just saying, when
That's what I feel
Howard
like we
dies
did.
and everybody throws a parade, it's fine.
Unreal. Anyway, this chapter. Can we all just agree that they're all pretty?
No, they are all pretty, yeah. Yeah. I agree. There's just a hierarchical scheme to it.
I got it.
This chapter is a big ploy schemed by Hwaryun,
But
I think it is Howard Yoon, but like, oh wait, no.
the Dark Manager, and Kuhn, the Entertainment HQ. Oh, to make the fresh idol Bomb into a superstar. I hope next week brings good results. Actually, I don't like being outside, but why? I could have swore he liked being outside. Like, blog post ago, he's like, I get to work outside because I got my iPad now, and it's really cool.
Oh, maybe there's just like too much dust now.
Jeez.
I mean, I guess.
Well, apparently he doesn't like it now. Actually, I don't like being outside, but last week there were some errands I had to take care of, and there was also a fan cafe meetup, so I went outside for a bit. I think I spoke too long there and got sentimental from all the age. I heard a lot of stories, so it was a good time. Thinking back, someone who was a student a few years ago showed up again as an adult. I love that kind of stuff. It's hard to look and love something for such a long time. I'm thankful for everyone who loves both my work and all of the characters. To those coming from afar and those cheering me from the distance, thank you so much. I hope that this year I'll be able to display the good things and a good webtoon for all the love you've shown me. And now, for the quintessential corner of the day, it's illness time.
Oh my god.
I want to kill the throat inflammation. Some are telling me I have pharyngitis.
Yeah.
I was too busy to go to the hospital this week, but I really do need to see an internal physician because I keep feeling unwell. Anyway, here's to the author that is becoming the spirit of Mondays Forever, the work, and to all of you who are getting older with me. Thank you for coming to see me this week too.
Man.
You'll be all right.
Rough beats. As he's on hiatus for not being all right.
All right. Oh, shit. Coronavirus. Coronavirus!
Chapter 51.
Damn, we're really coming full circle, huh?
Kuhn, wash your hands. Gargle regularly. Rack, use your mask in crowded places, even if it's uncomfortable. Bam, let's protect our health. Hello, this is SIU. Today's doodle is like a campaign poster. Since the whole nation is in a state of emergency over the coronavirus, I drew this while worrying about my dear readers. We're seeing that it spread to a lot of people, and people have already passed away, which is heartbreaking. But I hope that all of you guys take care of yourselves and stay healthy. Having a healthy body is the best. This week we have the fight between Bam and Test Ranker ending. We've had a lot of rankers being shown lately, so you may not feel the full impact, but it's a huge deal in the tower when a regular beats a ranker. The moment that happens, you are essentially proving that you are of another world. A lot of content got packed in there, and now we have Bam and Hwaryun at the gates. The walls and the nest are really huge. It's really hard to draw something that fits your initial vision. Since we're working very quickly on a weekly release, whenever I'm thinking of these grand scale scenes, I think, I kind of want to draw it like this, or I'm sure it'll all work out. And then I cry tears of blood. It happens every time these days, even my assistants do. I often pray that we end this arc without collapse from overexertion. Every work has different directions that they go after, but right now, although drawing out of the lore from my imagination may be difficult, it is my job and something that I enjoy. I do hope that I can maintain that for Tower of God. Anyway, this battle is at an Army Corps level battle, so the concept is set around the massive battlefield. I hope you look forward to the battle that is to come. Today's illness. My pharyngitis, which I can't confirm, but I'm just guessing, is still not going away. I looked it up and I hear many saying it's normal for it to last this long. and I'm worried about going to the hospital right now. So I've been starving it off for a while now. Even if it does get better, it comes right back whenever I get. It comes right back whenever I get even a bit stressed. If it doesn't go away this week, though, I think I'll have to go get it seen again. Well then, everyone, like I said earlier, health is first, second and third most important thing. So please take good care of it. Not that I'm the one to talk. Have a happy, healthy week. And P.S. to those of you self-employed people of Korea, things look tough right now, but stay strong.
Man, oof, rough beats. All right, we got episode 52. Aw, interesting. Okay. Today is March 1st, so Raccoon Bam gets to draw the Korean national flag. Surprisingly, each one of them has their colors on the flag. It's a coincidence, and I'm shook. Well, not quite, but it does remind me of those who protected our nation, especially when our nation is going through hard times. Patriotism is not something that is easy to display in times of crisis. I think it's because of those who did manage the Herculean feat that our nation is where it is today. This chapter, Bam arrives at the battlefield and we see a familiar face, Mr. Charlie. Not sure if you remember him from back at the last station, but since many kept calling him by his job title, you may not. There weren't exactly any flags set for his return, but he's actually quite an elite ranker compared to the test rankers. He's like a guy that passes the civil service exam in his 20s. It's hard for me to say since I don't know much about the civil service exam works, or how the civil exam works, and the tower is much larger than Korea. A one-to-one comparison is not really feasible. There are so many rankers across multiple fields, and there's a lot of gaps in the myriad of skills between them. Anyway, despite being up against a ranker, Bam fends off expertly, which surprises the military. It's like seeing a kid genius from a TV show. It's scary to see such unbelievable talent. How were Yoon's great at making Bam's image in that regard? In another scene, we see Evenkel and Karaka launch a surprise attack on Jihad's army, and the cage follows them. Yama declares the battle has started before the chapter ends. The ship was renovated a bit, and you'll see why later. The puppy cannon missiles. These days, we're doing a lot of 3D work, and I must thank my 3D designer and helpers who do their best to reflect the initial design. They fill in for me and allow me to continue the webtoon. This battle will make many suffer. The scale has grown bigger, but the story itself, I'll try to keep simple. I think we will mostly keep looking at battles of important characters and their backgrounds. Each wall will have a different type of battle, but it seems that in the initial phase, we'll have a war of attrition. As for today's disease, my illness wasn't going away at first despite the pharyngitis medication, but it's getting better after taking some meds for the esophagus. Interesting. Not by much, but at least there's a reaction, so there's hope. I'm trying my best to not cough too much and take care of it. The physical release, right? Yeah, the physical release proceeds came last month, so I donated 1 million Korean won, TN, greater than 10. Yeah, right. Greater than, less than
10K.
I don't know why I read it like that. Less than 10K US dollars to the people of Daegu, sorry if I butchered that name, who are suffering from COVID-19. Additional funds were donated to other regions as well. Thanks to all of you who bought the books, I was able to do something meaningful like this. I bow in thanks. I'm working on and off on the next book. Sorry to keep all of you waiting for so long. Although the times are getting tough these days, I hope all of you have a happy and healthy week.
All right, moving on. Episode 53. It looks like Bomb is riding the dog into battle versus this badass bird. That thing was so cool to see. It's a real treat. Image, charge! Today I drew Viol riding a big dog. Actually, I wanted to show something from one of the 4 panel extras from the next physical release, but it's not ready yet, so I'll try next week. It's not much, so don't get yourself too worried up over it. Karaka and Ivan Kell are fighting hard, but the cage seems to be unable to come in. By the way, the 4th Army Corps was able to get in because when receiving allies, the first walls moved from the side to the 4 directions, widening the gap. I thought about adding it into the release, but I thought it was TMI and visually apparent, so I cut it out. Anyway, while the cage is stuck in front of the first wall, we see Kel Hellam. He's got max stats, but is useless against Jihad's army. He led the cage through the first wall with a flashback. I had to be very careful about how I laid this scene out because it wasn't just a person teleporting, but a massive cage. Like the walls from the last time, it took a lot of hands and full cooperation with my assistants. The scene went through many hands, so I hope it came out well. That was cool. I think he pulled it off.
It really was.
Thanks to Kel Hellam, the cage makes it within the first wall, and just as we are about to start the main battle, we see Lopobia Branch Head show up with a giant bird. Since we have a giant bird, I was asked why we don't have a giant dog for the canines. Well, it's hard to draw, and if Yama rode on one, it would look like he's some primitive bushman. If you give dogs to people who aren't anima, it's just a dog that's chilling with Yama. Actually, it would be pretty cool if Mr. Kang Hyung-wook came out and tried to train the canines. I don't know who that is. I mean, sure, he'd die at a touch, but he is the president of dogs, so perhaps he can be an anima of dogs too.
I'm so lost in
Is
this
this like
reference. I don't know
The
if it is
dog
a
whisperer,
reference.
but like Korean?
I guess so.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Comments, somebody clarify that. Enough with the weird talk. I hope you guys look forward to the continued battle in the nest and how they fare against a branch family head and his giant bird. I always fall short of my expectations, but in an arc like this, where I have to constantly bring out something from my imagination, I encounter a lot of obstacles beyond what I expect. I wish I could do better. If you guys enjoy reading and cheer me on to improve on my shortfalls, I would be very grateful. On the disease of the week, I stop coughing when I take the medication, but when I stop, it comes back. It's hard to fix chronic coughing. Please take care of yourself while you're healthy. Thankfully, my symptoms are not corona related. Anyway, although the nation is caught up with the troubles this season, I hope you are all healthy.
Bad time to have a chronic cough.
Yeah, any cough.
Yeah, or any cough.
Everyone's cool.
Chapter 54. Boys fighting. This week, like I said last week, is a cut from the 4-cut strip comics I'm putting into book 4. Since it's one part of 4, there's more. I mean, there's not much to them either. I'm just making something that you guys can enjoy. So please look forward to books 3 and 4. There's been some spoilers I accidentally dropped before I made an edit here. I'm sorry. Anyways, we have an explanation of why Yama brought the cage here. To launch a giant needle to break the walls. Cha also brought a ship to Bam. Kun and White also both looked kind of evil. They're like Bleach.
Destroy everything.
On the disease of the week, this chronic cold isn't going away again. It only goes away for a moment while I'm still taking medication. Others are telling me to take a break and that exercising makes it easier, but that's the hard part. Ever since I started season 3, I've been having wrist and neck pains too, so I guess I'm full house. Everyone, take care, and I'll try my best to keep my body and mind healthy. Next week, I'll be back with Kun and White, the Spawn of Darkness.
Oh, it's
All
a
right.
cool shot.
That is episode 55. Man,
Damn, did Paul some
Yama.
justice, huh?
Or Paul. I literally was like Paul, but said Yama. That was so weird. Yeah, he's looking like a snack over here. All right, what do we got? Personally, I think the name Baylord Paul is a green name. I'm not sure why, though.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Since he's the youngest brother, it's very different when you see him interacting with others and when he's interacting with his brothers. In front of others, he is a scary high ranker, but when he's with his brothers, he's absolutely harmless and gets scared easily. He's that kind of character. With the incident from last week, I decided not to talk about the contents of the chapter, at least for the next few weeks. Actually, I've been very busy these days, and the uploads are going pretty tight. Now, with the newfangled preview system, there is a delay between the main chapters. So, I think rather than make room for mistakes again, I'll just keep the blog short. If you were looking for lore, I'm sorry. But because I have a few bits of news incoming, it won't be boring for you guys either. Since weekly release is very time consuming, a lot of things end up happening. If you think about it, I don't know how much of the time I spent while uploading this was actually for myself. even if I spend a lot of time, it doesn't always produce the best work. It can be shortcoming at times. An author doesn't just write or draw. He's also the one in charge of managing the studio, contracts, copyright issues that arise with assistants, and a lot of complex things. All of this problem solving and hard work over the span of the week is what gets passed to you guys. And that is what keeps you guys happy and gives everything value. Not easy at all, though. It's fun to draw high rankers fighting each other, but it's so much more work. I have to differentiate the types of Shinsu and the transformations for various characters. Although the actual lore and the visuals can end up being different, I still want people to be able to get this high. This is a high ranker. This week, I still suffer esophagitis. I still suffer E. That pretends to be P.
No, not Gitis, esophagitis. I don't know.
I suffer agitis that pretends to be pargitis. When I talked to my mother about my health, she told me that my father ended up having a major bout of illness after my symptoms. Oh no, I don't like the sound of this.
Esophagitis. Because if that one's pharyngitis, that's esophagitis.
Esophagitis.
That's where we're
going. Too many jitises. Jitis. Why are you taking all the bad things after him? Oh, that's his mother. Okay, got it. She told me that I need to live without being stressed, but it's not easy. Yeah, that's such like a motherly thing to do. It's like, oh, just don't do this, and it's like, I can't do this, Mom. It's impossible. I digress. Anyway, a lot of you have been giving me advice on the solution, so I've been trying this and that. Anyway, all of you, I hope you guys stay healthy and happy, especially during these times when COVID-19 makes the entire world suffer. Next week, I will come back next week with Paul on the battlefields, and bam. Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum, bum. All right, moving on to episode 56. So we got a short little comic. What are you doing, Rack?
I'm giving my energy along with the rest of the tower so that the anime will become successful.
Oh, really? I'll do it too. What are you guys doing? We're sending positive energy to the anime so it does well. What are you talking about? That sounds so unscientific. And you actually think that would work? Tower of God. Animation premieres on April 1st. Please support the animation. Wow. Getting an anime itself is an honor and a good thing. But as an author, whenever this kind of stuff happens, I am half joyed and half worried, excited, either way. But that's for the author. So I hope at least you guys are able to be 100% joyful for both the webtoon and the anime. I'm happy to see Season 1 Raccoon Bam running around. Yes, we wouldn't be here reading this blog post right now if it wasn't for it. So we are very blessed. I know everyone's getting cabin fever over the coronavirus. I wanted to go to see the flowers this spring, but I'm busy and the times are the times. So I decided against it. At least the apartment has cherry trees, so that's compensation for my heart. At times like these, working from home feels like a blessing. I'm not sure if it's because it's getting warmer or if the medication is working, but it seems my condition is improving. My wrist isn't doing too well these days, though. I've been using the left-handed mouse and keeping the strain minimal, but I need to take better care of it. Anyways, you saw how scary a company commander can be when they were at the promotion window. Once he failed, though, he only was a shell of his former self. He used to be full of energy, normally, so I'm pretty sure he's doing well somewhere. Can someone break down that paragraph? What just happened? Anyways, you saw how scary a company commander can be when it's a promotion window.
Yeah, he's talking about.
The only shell of his former self. He used to be full of energy, normally, so I'm pretty sure he's doing well somewhere. Who's he referring to? I can't remember this.
Company commander.
Who was the company commander? Do you remember?
No.
Do you remember what they looked like?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I remember somebody talking about the company.
Yeah. I was trying to envision it. Now that spring is here, I hope you guys take walks in uncrowded areas and enjoy some sun. Next week, I will be back with the invincible company commander, promotable Caliban. Oh, I guess it's him. And the regular former service member, Bomb.
Because Caliban, he just got promoted to company commander. Remember when he came back from the...
You're right.
Oh.
He's saying he used to be like so full of life, but now he seems like a... Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
You're right.
Gotcha. Okay, chapter 57. Speak of the Devil. Got Caliban and Sniper Girl. Hello, this is SIU. This week's Afterword Doodle is recent characters with explanations. Nothing too important. but I thought you guys might be curious. In Calivan's case, he uses 2 coats to hide his bound arm. As it says in the picture, the coat is attached by a pin. I was actually wondering that because I'm like, I never like it when characters are like wearing a coat over their shoulders and like there are these big bombastic battles and it just stays on. I'm like, how is that possible? It's just on your shoulders. Like, it would easily fall off.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like a lot of work to keep the jacket on, but whatever. You know, that's something. To the shoulder so that it won't come off. But if the battle gets going, it really can fall off. It's hard to draw, and with his arm tied down, it looks visually better. So I just like to think of it as a powerful clip when I draw it.
Nice.
On Lefave, her rifle is modified for sniping, but it isn't just a sniper rifle. Lore-wise, if she swaps out the buttstock and the barrel, she can use it for assault. Since the gun was built to be super long, her firing position looks weird because it ends up so that she fires while holding onto the buttstock. The scope is connected to an observer. This is not because she's a scout, but it's an item that helps with sniping. Oh, that's cool. I don't know anything about what he just said because I don't know anything about firing guns, but I'm going to assume it's on the up and up. This week, I did get some feedback during the previews, and it was difficult to not talk about it, but you'll see next week. The Fav is not a high ranker that threatens the current balance. Actually, her ability has a lot of conditions considering her rank. It's like going into an FPS and giving the sniper just 2 shots in the match. Despite her rank, she can't be like Ivankel and utterly dominate the battlefield, like Lubu, the Tien Romance of the Three Kingdoms reference. Somehow, this chapter became a very cliffhangery chapter. As this battle continues next week, please stay tuned. Last Wednesday, we had the first premiere of the anime. I hope you enjoyed seeing my kids animated. As an author, the most important thing for me is that you all enjoy the work. I just hope that this animation will be great, will be a great fun gift for all of my dear readers and now attached watchers too. These days, a lot of those around me are having trouble with the coronavirus. I'm normally used to staying home all day, but even I'm starting to get cabin fever too. I hope that the day comes when everyone can be outside without worrying about their health like normal one day. Personally, my laryngitis has been improving, but my wrist has worsened, so I worry, and I'm trying to take care of myself too.
All right, chapter 58. None other than Ivankel. This week's doodle is Muscular Form Ivankel. Although it is the case with Rack 2, it seems that there's a lot of people that compress their bodies under the authorization of an administrator. I wish I could compress all of the fat I've been gaining recently.
I literally, the first time I brought that up with Rack, I thought about that. I'm like, are there like fat people in Tower of God that like use compression to just look skinny?
Dude, that's funny.
Wow.
Like, that's a tactic.
Continuing from last week, I'm not feeling good today, and I have some work left to do, so I'll keep it short. I am truly grateful for all my readers, including those who cheer me on, tell me good things, and even those who give me bitter words. Next week, I'll try to get better so I can meet you in better health. I hope that one day I will be able to write that I've never felt better. Aw. Won't be easy, but I'll try. In these times, everyone should encourage one another. Be each other's strengths. Big words. All right, good stuff, SIU.
Yeah. So, that is that. It's kind of crazy that we're coming almost full circle here. We have 10 episodes left.
Yep.
So, now that you know we're getting close because we're into that coronavirus territory.
Yep.
So, 2020 in there. So,
This is our year.
Yeah.
Last year it was.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. So anyway, though, all things considered, really enjoyable chapters and enjoyable to read his blog posts as usual. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. If you did, make sure you guys are smashing like on this video, subscribing to the channel, hitting that bell if you are new here, or if you haven't yet, we'd really appreciate it. Comment your thoughts down below as well. What did you think of our discussion, our read through, these blog posts, our live read through, all that kind of jazz? We're curious to hear those thoughts. Also, if we have a question of the day.
I do, and this is a real test to see if you watched the entire video. Who was the doodle of that SIU created in the latest chapter 58 that we read?
That is pretty good.
You know,
they definitely have to watch to the end.
Definitely have to watch to the end.
Or at least if they want to scroll to the end, get the question, then have to scroll.
And
back.
that is just super
It'd just
extra.
Be a waste
like
of
you might
your
as well
time,
just
right?
watch the video.
Yeah, you might as well just watch it.
100%.
It wouldn't be a huge deal. It would just make them less of a person.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. My parents wouldn't love them either. So, all right, folks, that is it. So make sure you guys are watching till the end of this video, obviously, or answering that question, then commenting your thoughts, and we might just shout it out on our next blog post discussion, which will actually be only one more. So definitely want to do
But
that.
at least if we do this after that, they will be a lot shorter.
Yes,
A lot
way shorter. So get
in
it,
5 seconds.
get it while the getting's good here.
We'll alternate every word.
Yeah, that way it'll just elongate the content a little bit. Gavin's on to
The
something.
video has to be at least 10 minutes.
Right?
Yeah, how are we gonna get the ad revenue? Oh man, no, it's been fun though, and we're really excited to jump into this next time. Also, make sure you guys are referring to our description down below, where we have plenty of links that support the show. Again, check us out on AOA Reacts. The link is there, so you can catch our live read through of Tower of God, along with all the other stuff we post on that channel and all of our reactions. Definitely make sure you guys are joining Discord as well, so you can pose your questions. You could be in the loop when we are going live, where we're going live, what we're going live with, what we're doing that day, community posts, etc. Talk with some brilliant people. It's really a win-win in all given forms. We also have our Patreon as well. If you want early access to things like live reactions, if you want to get your name shouted out on the show, among many other benefits while supporting us, it's really a win-win there. So anyway, folks, that's all I got. That's all the plugging I'm going to do. I will spare you for this one. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you on the flip. Peace.
Peace.
Ninjas are samurais, blaze of the kunais. Find me in the leaf of the cloud, screaming out Bankai. We just some ghouls though, who like seeing parts fly. They like what you saying, Goma got more through the storylines. I tested your neck from the start, my hunters gon' come for your heart. I promise you'll land in my boulevard, left them in one piece, no